Top 5 reasons I don't think a Pac-12 collapse is imminent. I think there are people out there thinking because they made, the silly like, hey, we're all together, we love each other, and we're going to have a great media deal in a minute. We'll tell you about it. Nothing's happened, but something will. Statement that they think that is the harbinger of bad news. I just think it's the harbinger of they're really bad at PR right now. And they've got a commissioner who kind of shoots off of the hip sometimes before he's kind of examined everything that's going on. And so that kind of collectively spreads throughout the conference. But number 5, there's not enough dissent yet in the Pac-12. Now, you've heard rumors, early about Arizona, currently about Arizona State and the way that they may feel. And sure, there's dissent. But I don't think there's dissent from Washington. I don't think there's dissent from Oregon. I don't think there's dissent from their in-state counterparts. There's certainly not from Stanford and Cal. There's not from Colorado right now, as far as we can tell. Utah is happy where they are. So as you start getting into that, there's not enough people that are pissed off at each other yet for this thing to spring out of control. When it's happened, like if you think about when it happened at the Big 12 the first time around, everyone was furious with Texas. Like there was so much dissent and anger. Right now, you've got a lot of schools that I wouldn't call it dissent. I think there's an unstable future because you don't know these things. You think they all trust each other? Not completely, but I don't think that it is to the point of, middle fingers and FUs at this point.
You think Washington and Oregon are good?
I mean, we'll get to that in a second, but I don't think that the options are there that are going to get them excited yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think keywords yet.
Yeah,
I think that's all it is. I don't think it's going to take much, and I don't know that we don't know that there's not some more going on behind the scenes either. That could very well be possible, where people are just keeping the information to themselves close to the vest because the timing's not right just yet to maybe be a little bit more vocal about how they're really feeling. But I could easily see some unleashing of true feelings depending on if this TV deal would ever get done and we can see some actual numbers and know, okay, y'all are satisfied with making this much, or, oh, wow, that's a really low number. There's no way Oregon and Washington are happy about making $5 million less per year than they could somewhere else, even in the Big 12 potentially. So, yeah, I mean, without numbers, everybody can say, like, no, it's all great. But as soon as those drop, then that'll really tell us, okay, who's on board and who's probably eyeing the next ship passing in the night.
Yeah. Number 4, they're trying to add schools right now. So they're trying to add schools, which to me means they at least got enough, because that doesn't happen without all the 10 schools on board. You can't say, okay, all right, 9 of you. Oh, Washington State doesn't like traveling to SMU. Well, tough. It's got to be unanimous. That's how it works. So they are trying to add schools, which means they're trying, at least at this point, to grow the conference and stay together. So today, and this is today, this doesn't mean this could change, but right now they're trying to add schools, which means they are trying to move forward as a group together. Because if they were not at that point, they wouldn't be trying to add schools, they'd be trying to keep schools. But right now, they at least feel confident enough to go out and try to add a couple schools before they move on to the next phase of whatever they're going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yes, there's a confidence there, but there's also, that's all that they have to play with. I mean, like, if Oregon and Washington were threatening to leave right now, and I know we keep using them, but they're the ones that are really kind of like the binding, are they still like, we'll go get SMU and San Diego State? Or would that be the sign that everybody's like, screw this, we're all out of here, Like, I mean, yeah, they're trying to save face and make best with what they have at their disposal right now, but yeah, I mean, this is them trying to do what they can, basically, is how I view it. I don't view it as like it's locking them in for the long term or it's going to keep them at a certain level of value or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, this is like the Big 12 had to scramble and go get what they could get, and they got, fortunately for them, a few more options, and they had a little bit longer to kind of try to figure themselves out. But yeah, with the PAC, I mean, it's really the only choice they have. I mean, they've been told your TV deal needs some more oomph in it, and you need more teams for more games, for more money, more inventory, and so they're kind of almost having to because of TV deal rather than survival.
When you said that the Big 12 had a little bit more time, are you talking about the Big 12 in the fall of 2021 compared to the Pac-12 now?
Yeah, the TV deal's expiring.
The
Big 12 had
Well,
3 years.
Big
left.
12's TV deals already.
I'm talking about the change in the conference. It's a difference with Big 12 did not go through a TV deal until now. I'm talking about the change in the conference being disrupted with USC, UCLA compared to Texas, Oklahoma.
I mean, I'm not comparing them exactly. I'm just saying that the Big 12 had some time to kind of like gather itself and get it together. Not a lot of time to get itself together, but they had enough time to go and grab BYU and Houston and Cincinnati and UCF.
No, I get that. That didn't
Yeah.
happen. That happened pretty quickly, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying they had like 2 years to get that all done, but they had a moment to compose themselves. Okay, boom, let's pivot here, and they were able to do it. Yeah. And with the Pac-12, like I think there's only so many options. Like add SMU and San Diego State, or what?
Yeah,
or what?
And because the Big 12 had already done what they did. Yeah,
that's all you have.
Yeah, you can't, you couldn't go now. If the Pac-12 wanted to really expand, they should have, needled the Big 12, at that time.
Who would they have added that the Big 12 added?
No, they would have added Tech or Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Or
I want to make sure we have that clear. Okay.
No, yeah. So then that's when you did it, but they didn't want those schools. Number 3, they need a few cycles of the 12-team playoff. I think that can maybe change a lot of perspectives on things. If you go through the 12-team playoff and you get a couple teams in, you maybe have a team that goes up and makes it to the semifinals or maybe even the finals. Because, look, everything is much more cyclical now with the transfer portal and NIL. And so because of those things, you can shorten your rebuild window or your contention window of, we've got a team that's 10-3.
What's your definition of few?
Like 3 or 4. I mean, like a TV deal, like a TV deal here.
I mean, it's at least 2 more years before you even get to that.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of the thinking should be, let's see how we do, and then let's see where everybody is after that thing and how we are, because the game's about to change 1 year from now in a huge way. Yep. So if you wanted to make a sweeping change right now, it may not be the best time to do it if you're the Pac-12 and stay together and try to get in there and try to get some teams up into the playoff. Otherwise, you might be looking down the barrel of something bad,
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, though, if it's just Oregon or Washington every single year, and I know Utah could jump in there. I mean, Utah would have been a playoff team under the new system. So, I mean, you got to add them in there and maybe some others jump up. But, I mean, you're only going to be playing with so much time, and, there's still going to be rankings. Like, just because you get an automatic, potentially berth by winning the Pac-12 doesn't mean that you're going to be slotted very high necessarily. There's definitely some questions that we don't know the future all the way just yet. I mean, to your point, because of this playoff and how that's exactly going to work.
I don't know if they have enough time to go through new
right. Yeah, that's the question.
Cycles, but okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's one TV deal, then they do. So if you're talking about if they do get a TV deal done, then they can do that.
They will.
Yeah. Number 2, they have not seen what life is like without SoCal. And I know it's not going to be great for them initially. And look, if USC and UCLA have 2 of the better coaches, then they're still going to own LA. Doesn't matter what conference they're in. If they're good and they have good coaches, they're going to own LA. But that's really never been an issue for a lot of the teams when those have been good. What you need to do in the Pac-12 is, can you be the 3rd or 4th best team in LA? If you're the 3rd or 4th best team in LA and the number 1 and 2 teams in LA are in the Big Ten, that's fine. You're not really ever going to play them. But if you're the 3rd and 4th best teams in LA, you can win that league pretty regularly. So can that be Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State? Can that be Dion? Can that be Oregon? Can that be Washington that can go in there and really solidify that area for their school? Then maybe there are some benefits to them not being there, because you may have guys that just want to play on the West Coast. I don't know. Kids are weird. They want different things. So if you can be the 3rd or 4th, even 5th best team in LA, you can maybe start winning that league and getting in that playoff regularly. So they don't even know what it's like without it. They have not gone through the whole, let's see how we do. So while it's
what if it's not what if it's not one of the Pac-12 teams? What if it's Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, or whoever?
Yeah, that's also a problem. And I'm not saying it could be a bed of roses. It could be a gigantic pile of turds.
Thorns.
But you could theoretically start owning that area, at least for your conference, and then winning it. And I think that's something you at least need to try out. and see what happens.
Okay.
And number one, the biggest reason that the Pac-12 demise is imminent is that the Big Ten doesn't want anybody else right now. Right now, today. They don't want anybody else. The presidents of that league seem content to stay where they are at 16, taking the 2 new teams that they've added and building out from there. Now, a cycle and a playoff and a TV deal from now, maybe not. But since the Big Ten doesn't want anybody else right now, then that leaves teams that may want to jump, or if they say, forget it, this thing is over, we can't make it. Well, not everybody can go in the Big 12. Not everybody can go to the ACC. You can't just all go to one spot. So you're talking about fragments of people going off someplace. And,
Kevin Warren was the man behind the curtain that haunted them with the decision. And then again, him leaving for the Bears. Oh, man, who knows? Maybe he's the one that crippled the Pac-12 and then turned around, and maybe there's a life raft because he's no longer there.
All right. I have to zap Gregory Krug, Big Ten waiting on Notre Dame in the ACC. Half of that is true. And they might be waiting on Notre Dame. I will say this. Notre Dame will not join a conference until the rules are changed that make them. They will not do it. Their athletic director has as much power, and he's in charge of one school, as all the other Power 5 conference commissioners. They're not changing until the rules change to make them, and there is not enough juice in the refrigerator to make them do it right now. That will not happen. So